Welcome to stage 3 of the Volta Algarve. This event, they say, is the perfect preparation for the spring classics, the more lumpy ones in particular. Today, the road turning upwards, so one for the climbers, and foremost amongst them is, of course, Alberto Contador. The Tour de France champion started last season with victory right here, and he began this tour of the Algarve with the same plan of action. Yesterday, the rain and the cold took a few prisoners, 13 riders deciding not to continue today.
I'm ready for Italy.
So just how valuable is this early season test? Christian Valleveld of Garmin says it's more than useful.
Well, my first time I came here was 2002, and I had a great race, and it was great preparation for the spring. And usually we have nice weather. Yesterday was some of the worst weather I've seen in a long time, but you know, now it's blue skies, and we're happy. Everyone knows it's a great place to prepare for the season, so we have the best athletes in the world that come here, and it's a beautiful place, so we enjoy being here in Algarve.
And as you can see, he's absolutely right. The clouds breaking in the wind. Bright and breezy today, but with temperatures hovering around 12 to 14 Celsius, still not the warmest. Let's speak to Alberto Contador himself.
Vamos a intentar aprovechar la etapa y sacar diferencias de cara a la contrarreloj, ¿no? Yo creo que es un terreno bueno para mí. Pero bueno, no sabemos cómo están también el resto de rivales, ni yo, ya que es mi primera carrera después de 7 meses.
It's my first tour of the season as well, don't forget, after 7 months of layup. Thiago Montero as well, time trial specialist, needs a good finish over the next 2 days.
Pode haver gente que poderá perder segundos,
Team Radio
não é?
Shack, of course, you said today,
Mas acho que as diferenças vão ser feitas no contrarrelógio, são 17 km e meio que faz as diferenças, e eu espero já nos à frente nesse dia, como também espero dar hoje.
17.5 kilometers, and a lot can happen right there. It's the first year racing outside of Portugal, indeed, for the 24-year-old. So they got underway today. Long distance in front of them, in fact, longer than was previewed. 173.7 kilometres, extended to 180.7 because of some poor road surfaces. The route, strangely and rather unusually, extended. Yes, well, the bright and breezy conditions. Andre Greipel, the man in the yellow jersey at the start of the day. Would he be there by the end? Sprinter, of course, and the road, well, with some hilly sections on the longer route today, from just by the Spanish border inland to finish in Malau. Well, the first riders to go off, a 7-rider escape. Wouter Valent of Quick-Step, Edward King, Rubenel, Oliveira, Kent, De Serva and Gilbert as well. There were a few bumps and bruises out there, and, well, Manuel Cardoso was not alone for Futon Servetto. No, indeed, Geert Steegmans is out, the Radio Shack star sprinter. Yeah, he crashed into a parked car. He took out Manuel Cardoso of Futon Servetto and Sandy Cassar of Francis Digieux as well. So it really was a rough start after around 10 kilometres, but those 7 riders, they were out and determined to make some inroads out there. So Sebo Galicia had 2 representatives up front, Gonzalo Rubenal and Nelson Oliveira. Meanwhile, everyone else was more or less playing catch-up. So Greipel was out to do some damage today. Alberto Contador, well, he was part of the Astana crew, and they were really keeping up the pressure up front, trying to set up, of course, Contador for the big push. Would he get there? That was the big question. And the sprints, well, and the mountain climbs, they started to tumble to the escapees. And one man in particular was doing rather well. Thomas de Gent, Belgian, of course. So as a result, doesn't mind a rough bit of weather and the odd hillock. So it's the odd one in Belgium after all. Took the first of the climbs, the second as well, and indeed both of the day's sprints. So it was all coming down to a grand finale essentially, and when that happens, well, surely your money has to be on the likes of Contador. Thiago Machado of Team Radio Shack was optimistic. He was out there and pushing hard. Others, though, well, were chasing him down. It was inevitable that the sprinters would start to lose out and get spat out of the back. In fact, some big names were finishing very, very far down the order today. Tour Oshoft, 158th out of 159 finishers. So the all eyes settled on Astana. They started to stretch their legs, and there was no doubt, of course, the man they were working for, but who would look after him? Yeah, big question. Teammate David Lafuente, he went on a big push, and he and Contador looking very, very comfortable. They had to make their move because Quick-Step were starting to muster themselves for something of a challenge. Just after the feed zone, those 7 escapees broken down, and just Nelson Oliveira was left on his lonesome out front. So it was time to get yourself in order and go for the big push, but just when would it come? A big question. André Greipel from Columbia High Road, wearing the leader's jersey. There he is, bedded in nicely, but was always going to suffer on a day like today. Nice to see that the Algarve region was showing off some of its finest. Didn't see much of it yesterday in the sleet and the rain. Several attacks started to ping off up front with just a couple of kilometres to go. David Lafuente and Alberto Contador, well, they were staying in touch. Yes, they had to. Contador won this event last year, but when it came to this one, didn't quite wrap it up. I think he finished second in the big climb. There is a lighter day tomorrow, and then, of course, it's the time trial. And your money surely has to be on Contador to defend the title. So there they went, the Astana boys, with a big push, responding to a bit of cheekiness from Quick-Step. Contador, well, he's had some rebuilding to do, building a team around him at Astana ever since Lance Armstrong went off to form Radio Shack, dragged most of the Astana team with him. So a long break then, 7 months for Contador, but it was similar thing last year, and he had such amazing success. He's probably intending to pick it up just the same. You can see how Greipel was absolutely suffering. He was never going to hold on to that jersey, and others were being left to pick up the pieces, perhaps, once Contador had stretched his legs. Team Radio Shack just bedding in behind, but Fuente and Contador, they were fluid, to say the least, and others that tried to have a go just couldn't catch up. Well, they may well have had a big layoff. Contador looked as fresh as ever today, really strong. Thiago Mercado of Radio Shack, well, trying to stay in touch, and when the number 3, David Lafuente, peeled off, Contador just sprung off the front, looking so cool. All his powers remain intact. Thiago Mercado did a great job of trying to chase him down. In the end, there was to be 11 seconds between the two of them. Levi Leipheimer also making it a decent day for Team Radio Shack, but there was no doubt Contador showing his tremendous legs and coming through that final climb with ease, it seems. Crowds had turned out as well today, blessing of better weather, and they saw some real star names and a star performance by this man. Great to see him functioning at his very best, and good to see that he wasn't being allowed to have everything his own way. Contador celebrating with his usual pistol shot celebration across the line, and with that 11 seconds gap plus his time bonus for winning the day, takes a yellow jersey with more or less a day to spare before he goes into the time trial. Surely something he's likely to win. Peter Veltis of Team Columbia finishing in 4th place today, just ahead of TJ Van Garden, the American. So it was a busy day today, particularly for the climbers, the all-rounders. The escapees, well, they will rue what might have been, but then again, they probably were ruining this man as well, and his performance totally at one with the event, and pleased to spare us a few words as well, as you saw.
Contador, qué fácil es para ti, ¿no? Siempre escalando de sonrisa.
You dedicating this one to your team as usual. It seems easy for you, he says.
Sí que es verdad que me he encontrado muy bien, pero lo que estoy muy contento es del equipo. El equipo ha trabajado de una manera increíble y esta victoria no es mía, sino del equipo.
I'm really happy with my team. The team's doing an incredible job. They have to as well. They're all new boys, don't forget, that are bedding in behind him, but what backup they gave him today. Contador edging Mercado by 15 seconds it says there, but I can tell you officially it was just 11. The overall standings, though, it spins out a little bit. It is in fact 15 seconds in the overall standings because of the winner's time bonus. There he is. He looks like a winner, doesn't he? Well, they often say if he looks fast he probably is, and he is. We look forward to stage 4 tomorrow, and then the time trial, where we expect Contador to blow a few brains out. With that celebration, the pistol shot, better start ducking if you're around him. He looked great today. We'll have more for you, I should say. The Tour of Algarve tomorrow. Time you come through again. Bye-bye.
Vai andar de amarelo, Volta, Contador.